Welcome to EDM News, your weekly #1 news source for electronic dance music news on YouTube. The first news for this week comes from a big legend. It's actually Moby. Yes, he's of course still around and he's still touring, but he actually announced now that he's canceling all of his shows for a very weird reason, actually. He released a book about his life called Then It Fell Apart, and in that book he's stating that he actually dated Natalie Portman, and she's denying it. She publicly said he's talking bullshit. Moby publicly responded also on Twitter stating that she must have been confused, that they actually were dating. This one got deleted, you can't find it anymore. And he then later announced through his management that he's canceling all shows. This is actually really weird because either he's lying, really stupid for no reason, dating someone you actually haven't dated, or maybe he has dated her and she was too young because he was stating in that book he was dating her when she was a teenager. I don't really know, like the truth is probably somewhere in between. Another legend in the news, actually, Fatboy Slim, he has made a soundtrack for a movie that covers everything about Ibiza, like the entire history of it, the vibe of it. The movie will be out on the 26th of June, probably only in the UK, but there's already a nice like little teaser out on YouTube that just tries to capture the vibe of the island. Next up, something I personally don't really like. It's a new song by Diplo. I love Diplo and most of his past songs releases, but the new one is actually a cover of a Spice Girls song, which already, like, just the idea already sounds kind of weird and stupid. And yeah.
If you really bug me, then I'll say goodbye.
I don't know. The original is better, and we're talking here about the Spice Girls. Plus, the entire video is a little cringy, but let's just wait for the next one and hope that it's better. Last week we reported about Pioneer being up for sale. We got no news about that. Nothing still is confirmed. They're probably still negotiating. And also concerning Marco Corolla that got sued by a club and a promoter in Ibiza for switching to other clubs, although he wasn't really allowed. And even the judge told him not to do so. No news yet. But we'll definitely keep you updated, especially the Ibiza lawsuit thing is really interesting. I can't wait to hear more about why he's actually doing it, because it seems so stupid. And as you know, 2 weeks ago, there was an announcement that Beatport is actually fully entering the stream it market and also collaborating with Pioneer to actually make it possible to stream songs via Rekordbox. Now also SoundCloud announced something similar. You will be now able to stream all of the SoundCloud songs within Native Instruments Tractor. It's the right step. I like it, but it's way too late. Like, SoundCloud was huge. They missed their opportunity 3 or 4 years ago. They tried switching to SoundCloud Go. No one is really using it. Everyone is pissed. The artist has to pay and the listener has to pay. It's like really, it's not really fair. Less and less people actually use it. The reposting, they destroyed it entirely. So yeah, the right step, but way too late. But now let's actually switch it over to our man Jeff POSH. He's continuing the news straight from the island.
What it is, what it was, what it's going to be, YouTube. I'm Jeff POSH. Let's jump right in. iTunes. Let's talk about iTunes. So iTunes is coming to an end. So Apple iTunes is discussing discontinuation. They started in 2001, 18 years ago, and now it's finally coming to an end. They first launched in 2001 at the Macworld Expo. They said they're going to be opting for more contemporary ways of music consumption in the future. Back then in 2001, when it came out, it was revolutionary for its time. iTunes combated 2 things at that time: illegal file sharing and music piracy. So yeah, music revenue in the US last year, 75% of that was due to streaming. And at the time, Apple had 25 million paid customers. Apple's quoted as saying the transition might not be finished for a couple of years. So yeah, streaming is big, Spotify is king, Tidal is somewhere in the middle there, and yeah, Apple iTunes is no more. So yeah, do you guys even check out Apple iTunes? Do you guys even listen to iTunes? I haven't listened to iTunes. I don't even use iTunes anymore. So since everybody's on Spotify, I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to be missing iTunes anytime soon. Moving on. What does the NFL and EDC have in common? Well, I'll tell you right now. EDC Las Vegas security guard sues NFL running back player Ezekiel Elliott. So at EDC Las Vegas, there was an incident, and the people that were on site who were involved in the incident, or at least saw what happened, said that the football star Ezekiel Elliott was acting a little bit like a jerk. There was an altercation where Elliott was provoking the security guard. The two of them got in a little small altercation, and it seemed as though the security guard was either pushed, thrown, shoved, or something, but he toppled over a metal gate. Yeah, the security guard for EDC Vegas is named Kyle Johnson. And at the time, Kyle was asked by the police, did he want to press charges against Ezekiel Elliott? He said it was 3 a.m. He didn't feel like making a rash decision at the time. So he said he would wait. And he was waiting for an apology from Ezekiel Elliott. Kyle said he actually looked up to the guy. It was somebody that he admired at once. So Kyle said he did receive an apology from Ezekiel Elliott, but it just didn't feel sincere in his eyes. He said the guy wasn't looking at him and his words didn't sound too sincere. Because he didn't press charges, that is what kept Ezekiel Elliott out of jail. Had Kyle Johnson had to press charges, Ezekiel would have been in jail that night. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Moving on. Stampede at We Are Festival sends numerous attendees to the hospital. Let's talk about that. So yeah, the incident streamed from long lines and there being lack of wristbands. The UK-based festival experienced a breakdown over the weekend, when long lines and heat strokes caused hundreds of attendees to break through security barriers in distress. The organizers failed to provide proper wristbands or enough wristbands for all the attendees. And then something broke out and everybody started pushing and things like that. Yeah, some of the customers were injured. They were sick. They couldn't return back to the festival. Some went to the hospital. It was very hot temperatures out. Some people got heat stroke. Yeah, there were even reports of attendees vomiting and fainting even while they were in line. The situation was described as a domino effect. Things kept just getting worse. The worst kept getting worse. So yeah, the crowd, they said it was so many people gathered around trying to get out of the place, trying to figure out where to go, that it was lines as long as up to 3 hours just to get out. People were without food, no water. People were pushing. People were grabbing arms, grabbing legs. People were being pulled from each direction. And at least 8 people wound up in the hospital after the event. The festival put out an apology saying that they were sorry for all the customers that experienced a bad situation and that each year their plan is to provide safety and a great environment and great entertainment for their customers. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it. Moving on. Keeping up with today's theme, music and sports. Rez. Let's talk about Rez. So Rez has a single, Dark Ages, and it's being used right now for promo for the 2019 NBA Finals. Music from Rez's new album is being used to promote the Warriors Game 1 NBA Final in America. In support of Game 1, ESPN released a promo and it was using her track. There's a video of the Golden State Warriors and the Toronto Raptors playing Game 1. It features Rez's music in it. Yeah, so this track is the latest from Rez. So the 24-year-old producer, just from outside of Toronto, shared her excitement with fans about this deal. And she also revealed she used to play basketball as a child. She has Dark Ages out right now, and she was also spotted at a show in Dallas releasing some new material. So yeah, stay on the lookout. New material coming from Rez. Moving on. So when you guys think of 2 DJs that actually might hang out together, I'm talking about 2 celebrity DJs, Deadmau5 and Martin Garrix. Let's talk about that. So yeah, who knew the 2 were friendly? Deadmau5 and Martin Garrix were playing golf together for charity. So a video shared by the former artist shows the 2 of them hanging out. Synced to the Wii Sports theme, the nearly 1-minute video shows both artists taking swings with a golf club. It's tongue-in-cheek because it shows a lot of bloopers and outtakes of the guys just having fun. So yeah, it's good to see that Martin Garrix is doing well, because last week we reported here on EDM News that he had broke his ankle stage diving. Good to see that the guy's having some fun. He's out there swinging the golf club, hanging out with Deadmau5. He's still having a good time, and he's not hurt. Deadmau5 continues his Chaos residency in Vegas, and Martin Garrix is still on tour. So things are back to normal. Martin Garrix is all right. Coming to you live and direct from beautiful, sunny Ibiza, Spain. I'm Jeff Posh. Thank you for watching this episode of EDM News, where it's one thing I know and it's 2 things that's real. If you want to hear the real, you're going to hear it here first on EDM News. You all know the slogan, one ear to the streets, pulse of the culture in our veins. Let's kick it back to John. Peace.
Thanks all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell icon. Next week, another episode, EDM News.